What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to a Country Streak video. This is going to be my second ever Country Streak video. I recommend watching the first one if you're interested in sort of the more educational tips side of things. There are a lot of sort of good explanations in that video of various, metas and tips that I came across in my 35 diverse world streak that I got. And today I'm going to be playing again and seeing if I can beat that streak, seeing if I can beat my personal best of 44 and maybe go further. And I will continue to make it sort of educational, explain kind of what I'm doing as I go, just so that, rather than just rushing through and not explaining anything, because I think that's more fun for the viewers to actually sort of know the thought process. So, without further ado, let's jump into a streak. Playing no moving, of course. And here we are with location number 1. Now, I believe that's... Hold on. Am I crazy, or are there two languages here? The top language looks to be Hungarian. The bottom one looks Czech or Slovak or Polish or something. A little bit baffled by this one. Why? What is going on here? I don't understand. I mean, yeah, I'm seeing two languages here. Now, Hungarian is the first one, but the poles, they don't look like the usual Hungarian poles with the holes in them. It almost makes me want to guess Slovakia for this. Yeah, it's a tough first one. This sign is just weird. I'm gonna go for Slovakia here, I think, close to Hungary. This may backfire. Well, never mind. My goodness. Well, that was a pretty decent guess in the end. Jesus. That's amazing. Okay. So I think I had the right idea, not trusting, well, rather trusting the polls, kind of noticing that they weren't the Hungarian ones. But the dual language there kind of threw my head for a spin. But, alright. Tough first round, but we got it. Okay, classic US-Canada coin flip. Would be nice if we could just get a clue that gives it away. But I'm not seeing that. This means I actually have to think about this. And I am not particularly happy about that because, well, I really don't know which one this is. Feels more like the US to me, to be honest. But I could be wrong about that. I really could. I'll go for Minnesota. I don't know, Wisconsin. Yeah, something like that. Okay, it's down in Missouri. Yeah, it looked like northern enough to possibly be Canada, but it didn't quite have the Canada feel to it. Wait. I've seen this location in a GeoWizard video. I remember this. I think he was playing Streaks, and he got this exact location. And it took him a long time, even though it's kind of not that hard to tell that it's Germany. I mean, we have the German language all over the place, and then the Generation 2 camera. If you have German plus Gen 2, it's very likely to be Germany already. I guess you can get that in Luxembourg as well, but the plates we're seeing are white, so it won't be Luxembourg, and the Gen 2 means it's not Switzerland or Austria. It ended up being Dusseldorf, I believe. I'm not gonna remember exactly where the location was, but it was something like this. Yeah, nice. And yeah, like I said, this I've seen this in a video before, so it's not, you know, it's not like that was an insane guess. I just knew. Round 4. Well, we have yellow plates here. Yellow center line driving on the right. We should just be in Colombia here, I think. Yeah, we've also got this cross on the back of the sign. So in Colombia, on the backs of signs, rather than just seeing the vertical signpost, you'll see this sort of horizontal bar. I don't know if it's very visible. But yeah, on the backs of signs in Hungary, you will see a cross, basically. Did I say Hungary? I meant Colombia. Yeah, Colombian cross is what the GeoGuessr players call it. And then the yellow plates are quite characteristic of Colombia. So if you're in Latin America, you see yellow plates, you're very likely to be there. All right, that's 4. And oh dear. Okay, well this is hard. I'm not quite sure. Is that? This looks like a yellow diamond sign. I was gonna put this in Europe, to be honest. But the yellow diamond sign tells me it's not Europe. Is the sun in the north? The sun's in the south? Wait, what is this? Because once I realized it wasn't Europe, I was gonna go for something like Chile, but with the sun in the south, I'm now thinking it's Mexico. This is fascinating. Yeah, so yellow diamond signs, you don't see them anywhere in Europe other than Ireland. But this is very clearly not Ireland. So you also see them in Asia, but again, this isn't Asia. So I mean, where in Latin America do I put this? With the sun in the south, I'm tempted to just go for Mexico. So that's what I'm going to do here. Yeah, nice. Okay. Again, yeah, a few tricky rounds. That one, didn't really immediately jump out to me that would be Mexico. But solid game anyway. Nice guesses, obviously, in Germany and Slovakia. Yeah, take that. That's 5 in a row. Good start to the street. Let's keep it going. Pazinavoz. I do not know what language that is, but should be Serbia here. We have the I don't know if these came up in the last video, but these bollards with that are white with the red rectangles, and sometimes the red rectangle is off center. And then they have the black top. You see those, I think in Slovenia and Austria, you see them, but the red rectangle will be in the center. And they're also more like, rather than being like thin and flat like these ones are, they're like more sort of three-dimensional. But these ones you'll see in Serbia and Montenegro, most notably. These ones with the little off-center red rectangle. And Montenegro will have an antenna on the car, and Serbia will not. So, yeah, the European countries that don't have the antenna are Serbia and North Macedonia. So this is just going to be Serbia by process of elimination. Kenya, very classic car meta. This is actually interesting because this is a unique car. There's a specific place in Kenya that has this car with the sort of brown and silver like front, but the giveaway for Kenya is the roof rack plus the snorkel. That tells you 100% that you're in Kenya. I forget exactly where this is, but there's, yeah, this specific car look is unique to some place. I just forget where it is. Sure, it's just here. Okay, fine. Russia. Why Russia? Because, I mean, like, birch trees, dirt road, kind of, sort of just a Russian look to it from the start. But the long antenna plus the black car, you're just going to be in Russia. Like, you don't see a black car anywhere else that looks like this. I mean, if you see this sort of landscape, you might think Finland or Estonia or Sweden or something. But the black car, you don't see that in really any other country in that area. So that just means it's going to be Russia. I don't know where, but it doesn't really matter. Man, Jesus, really good guesses so far, just in terms of distance. I'm not even going for distance, but like, yeah, I mean, that looked quite a lot like Finland, so that's why I put it near in Karelia. And it worked out. Next. I think this is Albania. Language appears to be Albanian. We have... I don't know how to explain it. Albanian is a very distinctive language once you have seen it enough. I mean, this sort of the SHP, like the lots of Z's, and lots of Q's, like it's just a very distinctive looking language. And yeah, we also have double blue plates. It's another lesson, I guess. In Italy, you will often see double blue plates. However, Italian front plates are shorter. They're less wide, and this is like a sort of a long, sort of a regular sized plate, like the one you would see on the back of the car. So yeah, the front plates will be short in Italy. Albania is notably the other country that has double blue plates. France, I think you see them sometimes as well. But yeah, you could have kind of just solved this just from the landscape plus the plates. Just means you're going to be in Albania. Well, it's just Tirana, okay. Jesus, my score is actually pretty insane right now. I didn't even realize. You know, again, I'm not going for score, but this is going to end up being a pretty solid game. And it could have been even better if I was actually sort of really trying. What do we have here? So, like I mentioned before, Colombian cross. See? It's Latin America. You see the Spanish and stuff. Yellow center lines, etc. And then, yeah, if you're in Latin America and you see crosses on the back of your signs, you're going to be in Colombia. Or Brazil. Brazil has crosses as well, but notably the backs of signs in Brazil are black. So, you know, this isn't black, so it's not Brazil. And you see a yellow plate in front of us as well. A further indicator that we're in Colombia. So, pretty solid game. Almost 24K there without going for score at all. Pretty good. And Country Streak is up to 10. Let's soldier on here. Here we have Spanish language. We have, well, we have this, which is a bit of a clue, I would say. Not really much more to say here. I mean, Mexican flag. It's worth noting that the camera is Gen 4, as you can see from the sky. It's less obvious with the sky, but really the blue car is what gives away the Gen 4 here. And there are 3 Latin American countries with Gen 4. I lied. There are 4 now. The 3 were Mexico, Brazil, and Argentina. Colombia has recently gotten a bit of Gen 4 as well, so that's worth noting. But yeah, this is just going to be Mexico. It's one of the Latin American countries with Gen 4. See, this is less obvious here. We have a exiting town sign that is white. We have a front plate that does not look Italian. Like I said, the Italian front plates are short. That does not look like a short plate to me. However, we don't have much here. Now this would be nice if I could read this, but it's blurred. I can see the Google car in the mirror, but it doesn't help me. So, what are the options here? For me, it's Spain or Portugal. I mean, with Italy eliminated just based off of the plate, I can't see it being anything but Spain or Portugal. Actually, to be fair, I think Italy, the town exit sign would be blue as well. And I don't know, the landscape just looks more like Spain to me. I'm not quite sure why I say that. It doesn't feel right for Portugal. Also, that plate does not appear to have yellow on the right side, further suggesting that it's just Spain, and it is. Very nice. This, okay, more easy car meta. Africa is nice in streaks because there's always car meta to bail you out. This is the Uganda car. I'm gonna forget, by the way, some of the tips. Like, I'm gonna forget whether I've mentioned them in previous videos. So I might repeat things. I don't know if this came up in the last video, but this is the car that you see in Uganda around Kampala. The only sort of coverage in Uganda is either in national parks, which usually have weird, wacky cars, or just in and around Kampala and Entebbe specifically. And this car with the mirrors and the like white edges is the Kampala Entebbe car. And oh wow, it actually was Entebbe. How about that? It's normally just Kampala, but that's kind of an interesting one. Okay, so this looks like hell at first glance. Like, how are you ever supposed to do this? Main clue here, black car. So the countries in the world that have a black car: Russia, Argentina, Uruguay, Israel, Palestine, and Jordan, Indonesia and Malaysia sometimes. I think South Korea can have one. Spain, Turkey. Okay. Well, there's more than I realized when I decided I was going to list them. But, I mean, a lot of those countries I just listed don't make any sense anyway. Like, this landscape, it's never going to be Israel or Jordan. It's never going to be Russia. It's way too sort of dry and desert looking. And for me, I think the only logical choice here is Argentina. Mountains to the west kind of makes sense because, well, there's, you know, Argentina has a lot of mountains to the west. And yeah, the landscape just feels right for Argentina. It's flat, it's kind of dry, and yeah, black car. It kind of just, it all adds up. Jesus, what are these guesses? Like, I've had so many, like, weirdly good guesses so far. Just kind of randomly plonking and happening to be quite close. Oh, how about this? Wow, this actually came up in the last video, didn't it? That's amazing. So yeah, this triple yellow is found in far south Chile on this Route 9. And it actually came up again. That's amazing. Yeah, that's super cool. You love to see it. And we are a bit further north there. But yeah, that's a very distinctive road in southern Chile. Because like I said in the last video, in Chile you often get all white lines, but for some reason on that road way in the south, you get all yellow instead. Country streak is up to 15. Now this, at first glance, looks like Turkey. I'm not sure quite why I say that. I didn't actually see the bollard. This is a Turkish bollard. Like I've mentioned, these sort of white bollards with the red rectangle, you'll see those in Australia, Turkey, a little bit in Romania, similar ones in the Netherlands as well. But, I mean, this is pretty clearly not any of the ones I listed other than Turkey. That's a Turkish sign with the blue and that sort of font, and it says Rasadiye or whatever, which is quite a Turkish sounding word as well. So yeah, it's as simple as that. This is just going to be Turkey. Let's try, I don't know, Lake Van. Oh, it actually was Lake Van. I was seeing water to the west, so I was thinking we were on that side. But I guess this makes sense as well. Very nice. Classic South Africa. Not much else to say here. I mean, Gen 2 camera is very common in South Africa. And these signs are just, they're just South African signs. If you zoom in, you'll see these little R roads, R704, 04, 06, 02. And again, if I was trying, I would actually go and find this R708, and I would probably be able to 5K this. But I'm not trying for that right now, so I don't really care. But yeah, that was quite a sort of distinctive South Africa round. Boy, trouble. Big trouble. Yeah, these Asia rounds will kill you. Oh no. Oh dear. Yeah, this is hard. I'm not quite sure where to go with this. There's not a lot of clues here. Now the red soil is interesting because you don't really see red soil in a ton of places. I mean, it's obviously common in like Brazil, but I'm pretty sure this is Asia, just looking at the sort of the foliage and the building. Feels more like Asia to me. Red soil, you see a lot of it in Thailand and Cambodia. I feel like not so much in like Indonesia and Malaysia. Could also be Sri Lanka. Definitely a possibility here. Yeah, really not sure where to go with this, to be honest. I wonder if this, I mean, this kind of looks, the little hole design kind of looks like the design you see on the Thai telephone poles, but these aren't telephone poles, so I don't know if they can be trusted. I would definitely believe Thailand for this, but I would believe a lot of things. Weird sort of car blur, and I'm not quite sure what to do with that. Doesn't quite, yeah, it looks like Thailand to me. I don't know. At the end of the day, this is a complete guess, and it's probably wrong. But this is one of those rounds where it's really hard to narrow it down further than this. So I'm going to go for Thailand. Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable. It was Sri Lanka. I did mention that as a possibility. I don't know. The car blur didn't look like the classic Sri Lankan car blur. I'm not used to the soil being that red there. There were kind of a few reasons why I didn't go for Sri Lanka there. Probably should have given that more thought. That is a shame. But, you know, sometimes your streak will end. And it ended there. Yeah, too bad. Alrighty, my first streak attempt ended in a bit of a failure. It wasn't too bad, but I'm going to keep on playing and try and get a better one instead of just ending the video here, because I think I can do better. Okay, where are we starting? This is what? Okay, think. What do we have here? So, yellow center lines indicate Americas, I think. And the poles, they look like they have dents in them. They look like sort of ladder poles, which would indicate Brazil to me. Wasn't my first thought because it's quite dry. But Faz Buriti, whatever this is, I don't think it's English. I was considering something like Mexico, but the sun's kind of like in the east. Yeah, I'm now thinking, given how the poles look, sort of ladder pole design, I'm leaning for Brazil here, so that's what I'm going to go for. Yep, and it was Bahia, which makes sense. Bahia is kind of a more deserty, dry state. So that's why I went for that. And the streak is off to a decent start. Next. This appears to be Nigeria, I think. it's pretty clearly Africa, and Nigeria, it's pretty much the only country in Africa, aside from like Tunisia, where you like don't see the car. Like you always get roof racks or like weird car meta in Senegal, Ghana, Uganda, Kenya. I mean, to be fair, in Southern Africa you don't usually see much of the car either, but this is pretty clearly like more Northern Africa just by the way it looks. Sort of very kind of classic Nigerian look. I'm not really sure how else to say it, but it just looks much more like Nigeria than anything you would see in South Africa or Botswana or anything like that. Okay. Marathon. Now, this is interesting. It looks alpine. I don't quite know which... Oh, what does that say? Saus Riffnerbliet or something? It sounds German to me. This almost looks like the Austrian flag, but that's not to be trusted, I don't think. But it sounds more whatever this says looks more German to me than like Slavic, so I'm guessing it's not Slovenia. And it won't be Switzerland because the cam is not low. It can't be Germany, so by process of elimination I think this is just Austria. So that's what I'm going to go for here. Very nice. Alright. Round 4, propriété privée. So we are in a French-speaking country, and we are just in France. This is a classic French sign with the just sort of the white sign with the yellow D road is just very French. Round 5. Now this, interesting. So these bollards, I mentioned earlier that the bollards in Montenegro and Serbia look quite similar to this, but they often have the red on the side, and like I said, they're a little flatter rather than being sort of round like this one is. So this is not what the Serbia-Montenegro bollards look like, but it's sort of similar to the design. And so this is what they look like in Austria and Slovenia. However, this little cap on the top, there's always this black section here, but this little cap up here, you don't see this in Slovenia. Now, Austrian bollards, sometimes they have this little thing, sometimes they don't. When they don't, it's a little harder, but when you do see this little cap, it confirms that you are in Austria rather than Slovenia. And that word house looks quite German as well. So we are going to be in Austria once again. And that is a nice 5 streak. Round 6. So we have Cyrillic here. None of that is helpful to me. Okay. Not quite sure what to do with this. It's I don't know. I'm a little bit unsure here. I'm not I mean, the plates to me don't look like they have a blue strip. So it's probably not Bulgaria, despite looking dry enough to be Bulgaria. I've never seen these pole stripes like this. I don't think this is Ukraine. It doesn't feel right. I don't... Man, I really don't know, to be honest. It could be Ukraine. But it just feels a little more like Russia to me. So I'm just going to go for Russia. Yeah, it is. Nice. Alright. Australia. Now, what's the clue here? I mean, the bollards... So I mentioned that the bollards in Australia look like the ones in Turkey. This is a bad example because these ones don't. Occasionally in Australia, you will see bollards with circles on them rather than rectangles. The circles are rarer, but they do exist. So that's worth noting. But the Gen 2, the landscape, plus these bollards with the circles just indicate that we will be in Australia. And it was Western Australia. Whatever. Who cares? Okay. So in my first video, I mentioned the Southern Africa road lines with the white in the center and the yellow on the outside. So this is clearly Southern Africa. However, it is always a challenge to distinguish the countries. Now that is a city. It says like Malkions or something. I can't quite read it. My first thought was that this is Eswatini, but I'm not completely set on that. A lot of things starting with MA here, which is encouraging. I really wish I was just able to read that more clearly. See, the mountains, they don't really look like the Lesotho mountains. They're not like the sort of flat-topped, ridgy-looking mountains like you see there. But man, it could just be South Africa, couldn't it? I don't know though. The look isn't quite right for South Africa. I don't really know how to explain it, but it looks more like Eswatini to me. Maybe it's this sign or something. It's like the type of, it's just sort of the style of sign you would see in Eswatini. Yeah, I don't know how better to explain it. I'm just gonna go for Eswatini here, and it is. And wait, that was Malkerns. That was literally, was that visible? That was visible. Okay, well, people probably were yelling at their screens there. But that's okay. I figured it out anyway. This is Taiwan. I mentioned in the first video these poles with the diagonal stripes on them. You'll see them in Taiwan and South Korea, but in South Korea they don't go all the way to the ground, whereas in Taiwan they do. You'll see these ones very clearly go to the ground, and we have language that looks much more Chinese than Korean. So this will put us in Taiwan. Round 10, we have a freebie, Manitoba. This, in fact, is probably an extremely easy 5K if I actually care about going for that sort of thing, which, I mean, I don't, but I kind of want to do it anyway, because it would be sort of fun to just be able to do that. So I'm going to do it. We're just here. 12 and 317. Yeah, I can do it if it's that quick. That was a very easy round. All right. Take that. 10 in a row. Let's keep moving. Like I said before, French signs. Not much more to say. Just very French signs. They're white with the yellow D roads. Dead giveaway for France. Well, that's probably a plate that I should recognize, to be honest, because it's kind of unblurred. But I don't, because I'm bad at plates. But this'll just be it'll just be the U.S. or Canada. I'm seeing no fronts, and the landscape looks pretty northern to me. No fronts plus northern just indicates Canada, probably, because most of the U.S. states that don't have fronts are like down here, and it just doesn't look like the American South. So I'm thinking it's got to be Canada. So I'm gonna go for Canada here. Oh my God. Okay. Well, it was Quebec, which indeed doesn't have any fronts. It was pretty close to the U.S., but again, if it was the U.S., you would have seen front plates there. Okay. US or Canada again, we have the sort of 3-digit area code. It's just that sort of US-Canada phone number format. Bollard lessons. Okay, so these are the Alberta Bollards. Canada, you don't usually see bollards very often. But Alberta is sort of the exception. You'll see these white sort of zebra-striped bollards with the 2 black stripes at the top. I think you also see them in the Northwest Territories, but most of the time you're going to be in Alberta. So yeah, this will just be Alberta. Very nice. South Korean sign here. This is just what the street signs look like in South Korea. We have the Korean language here. And yes, good. We have an example of the stripes that are on the poles, but they don't go all the way to the ground. As you can see, there's sort of a little bit of pole in between there. So that's how you can tell the South Korean poles from the Taiwanese ones. Round 15 looks to be Argentina, I would say. We have the black car with no antenna. Yeah, and you know, out of the countries with a black car, Argentina is really the only one that makes sense to me here. This sort of dry landscape, the Latin American feel with the yellow road lines and the yellow diamond signs. Uruguay does not look like this at all, and I don't think there's really any part of Peru that this could be either. So for me, it's just Argentina. It's down there, but Argentina is indeed correct. Okay. Now this could be tricky. Okay, so I don't know if I mentioned in the previous video, but this stubby antenna, at least in Latin America, is found in 4 countries: Mexico, Brazil, Ecuador, and Colombia. Now, to me, this is not, it's not Mexico. The poles, I'm pretty sure these poles are just the ladder poles that we saw earlier. I think it was round 1. Had these same sort of ladder-looking poles. What I mean when I say ladder is that they're like dented, but they have these little divots. It's almost like you could climb them. And I think this is just Brazil, based off the poles and the stubby antenna. It's weird. It's like really sandy, so it's probably like right on the coast somewhere. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go for Brazil here. Let's go right there. Yep, not a bad guess. It was right up there on the coast, just to the west of where I put it. This is interesting. Is it... should just... I think this is just Canada. We have the yellow center line. We have a North American looking plate. It would be nice if that stop sign wasn't blurred. I could tell if it says arrêt or stop. But it doesn't look right for the US. The Gen 2, I mean, Gen 2 is fairly rare in the US. You do see it, but it's not all that common. I don't know, it's just the houses, I guess. It just looks much more Canadian to me. I kind of want to guess that it's something like Newfoundland. Because it's sort of a weird looking place. Oh my god. Of course it was. That's why it looked so weird. It was Yellowknife. Wow. Now, I feel like the reason I didn't think of Yellowknife is because the Northwest Territories plates are usually in the shape of a polar bear, and the plate that I saw was absolutely not in the shape of a polar bear. So I didn't think it would be up here, but that kind of explains the landscape and the Gen 2 camera, so there you go. And was my last streak 17? I think it was. Am I about to lose at 17 again? Very possibly. Let's try and get this right. Now, the pole does look awfully tie to me. Ooh, wait a second. I just recently learned about these. these lights, these are like street lights or whatever, these long light things, they're found quite commonly, I believe, in Thailand, as opposed to other countries. Now, these poles with the little dots in them are already quite Thai-looking to me. But, yeah, these lights I think are a Thailand thing, mostly. I learned this from a wolf tracker video. Yeah, really useful tip, apparently. Because I was thinking Cambodia at first for this, but this stuff here is making me think more Thailand, so that's what I'm going to go for. And the streak continues. Very nice. Thank you, Wolf Trekker, for the light meta. This is a fascinating one. At first I thought it was going to be like the US or Canada, but upon closer inspection, I believe we're in New Zealand here. Very cool sort of road to be on. This style of sign, you see it a lot in New Zealand. This sort of sign with the speed limit and the arrows on it. I haven't really seen that anywhere else. I don't see any good bollards here, but it's really that sign plus the combo yellow and white center line is another thing that you see in New Zealand. You'll also see that in like Finland, Argentina, Uruguay, but it's clearly not any of those. So it should just be New Zealand. Now where are we? Who knows? I don't know, something like that. That's a very nice guess. Okay. Cool, we're up to 19. And okay, we have... Okay, so black car in Asia. You're going to be in Indonesia or Malaysia. Not quite sure which one I want to go for here. And there's a plate, but it's so dark. Can I really trust that? I'm not sure if I want to go off of that. Now, I've mentioned that Indonesia normally has front plates on the bikes, while Malaysia doesn't. Again, it's really hard to tell whether these things have plates on them. It's just so dark down there. Because with the way it looks, I kind of want to go for Indonesia. But this plate almost looks like it has 2 white sections, not 3. And these, I'm not seeing front plates on the bikes either, so it's worrying me that I'm actually in Malaysia. And there's not really anything clear to me here to tell the difference. So I still think the buildings look Indonesian, so I'm going to go for Indonesia and be sad when it ends up being Malaysia. Oh my god, it's Indonesia. Okay, we survived. It was Sulawesi, which I absolutely did not expect. So, way off on the score, but thankfully the Indonesia instinct was correct there. I don't know how to explain that. It kind of just felt more like Indonesia to me, but I mean, that's obviously not helpful to somebody watching, but I don't know. Didn't feel right for Malaysia for whatever reason. Alright, here we have low camera. I don't know if it's clear to you. Like, what I forgot to mention, honestly, so I didn't mention in the last video that recognizing low camera, like it's hard to do, except what I didn't realize was you can kind of just look at the blur of the car. What I used to normally do was kind of just like eyeball it, see like, oh, do I feel like I'm kind of lower than normal here? But really what it is the blur. The blur is really wide. It's much wider than you normally see the car blurred. In Switzerland and Japan, yeah, you'll just have this wide car blur, and that's honestly, that's probably the best way to identify low camera, and I only recently learned that. I think I'm getting better at recognizing it. But yeah, we also have what looks to be French here. So we're probably in something like Geneva or Lausanne. Or whatever that is. Cool. It is indeed French-speaking Switzerland. Here we have Spain. Not much to say here. Spanish little highway sign down here. We have a sign for Almeria, which is right there. And yeah, just, I don't know, very Spanish looking. Ooh, a Spanish bollard as well with the yellow rectangle. Sort of a distinctive color. You don't see that in many places. Why the heck? Why did I move it from Almeria? Alright, doesn't matter. I'm not going for score, but that was kind of stupid. Okay, we have Italian. What appears to be Italian. In fact, that's 100% Italian. We have the double blue plates, which are characteristic of Italy. And we have front plates. You see this little front plate here? It's like, it's short. It's small. See? The front plates are just smaller in Italy. Yeah, and you can kind of really tell that here. So yeah, this will just be Italy. It feels kind of southern, so I'll go for Sicily. Let's try Messina. Why not? It's not Sicily. It's... okay, sure, whatever. Whoops. Okay. Nigeria. What tips do I have for Nigeria? I don't know if the follow car was present in the last Nigeria location we had, but very often in Nigeria you'll have a Toyota following you. It's like an escort car. It's some sort of, I don't know, law that they have. Google has to have a car escorting the street view car. But yeah, it'll often be a Toyota. It's usually different colors. Like you see a red one, you'll see a white one, you'll see a black one, you'll see a like beige one. There's a bunch of different ones. But this sort of close following Toyota is a good clue for Nigeria. Once again, looks like Africa. It doesn't look like Southern Africa, but you don't really see a Google car. It kind of just tells you that you're in Nigeria. Sort of by process of elimination. Can't be any of the other countries in that area. Ends up being Benin City. Now there is actually meta for the follow cars. Like the black car probably only shows up in like Benin City, but I haven't taken the time to actually learn where each car shows up, so whatever. Okay, here we have Australia. Now, this is more the bollards I was talking about when I say the Turkey bollards look like the Australia bollards. This is what I mean. You'll see they look quite similar. You see we're driving on the left, we have English, and then you also see the little red circle ones. So you get a bit of both in Australia. But yeah, it's just Australia. Bollards are a giveaway here. Let's try Melbourne. It's Brisbane area. Cool. It's actually on an island. That's fascinating. Okay. 25. Haven't been a lot of super challenging rounds yet, to be honest. It's been pretty smooth sailing, at least in this this second streak. The first one had a couple tricky ones, including the one that killed me, but... okay. This is Iceland. Why is it Iceland? I mean, no other country looks like this, is basically the explanation. Faroe Islands can look like this, but they'll have a roof rack on the car. And yeah, sort of this, I don't know, sort of mossy look. Like, well, first of all, that's a sort of a Icelandic street sign, a little just white with the black writing. And yeah, the sort of mossy look to it. Just the foliage, just very Icelandic looking. The architecture, I don't know. You get put in Iceland enough times, you start to pick up what it looks like. And it's quite distinctive. God, that looks like it says Almeria again. This is interesting because Spain wasn't really my first instinct here. I feel like normally Spanish road signs aren't blue like that, but maybe they are. I guess it makes me feel better about losing to Turkey in my last video when I saw a blue road sign and thought it was Spain. That looks like a Spanish bollard. It looks yellow there. And I'm pretty sure that just says Almeria. Like, I mean, the A maybe 7 is what that says. Oh yeah, A7. Yeah, this is totally where we are, I think. We're just in this kind of area of Spain. Oh, we're over there. Okay. Very nice. I'm glad I was able to just about make out the sign there. What is this? We have a Scooby-Doo car. The things you see when you play GeoGuessr. You see the weirdest stuff sometimes. Okay. Now, where would they have a Scooby-Doo car? France. Classic. Okay. Explanation for why it's France. Simple. Bollards. These sort of very thick bollards, these white ones with the red stripe on them. Very characteristic of France. I wish I could see them more closely so you could get a better view of what these things look like, but they're just wider and larger than like any other bollards that you see. This pole is also kind of characteristic of France, these ladder poles. Although to be fair, you do see similar ones in countries like Belgium, Spain, and Portugal. But the bollards are a giveaway for France for sure. New Zealand, textbook. New Zealand, you often get these like gigantic hedge things, yellow and white road lines, as I mentioned before. Weird cloned poles. And yeah, here's the characteristic New Zealand bollards, the sort of thin-looking ones with the red stripe. All very New Zealand-ish. Okay, this is hard. That looks like it says shine. Whatever that means. This is interesting. Sorry, I have to clear my throat. I'm almost losing my voice a little bit. What? Butagaz. I think it's Tunisia. It looks sort of... I mean, it definitely is like this kind of area of the world. You know, I don't think you would see an antenna in a place like Jordan. UAE is possible, but it doesn't feel... The architecture, the palm tree, it feels more like Tunisia to me. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about this. I mean, gaz is a French word, so it's some sort of company, some sort of gas company would make sense for this. And I kind of want to guess Jerba just for the heck of it, so that's what we're going for. Yeah, yes, it was Jerba. Let's go. Very nice. Things you love to see. All right, that's 30. See how far we can go here. That is... I don't know what the heck that flag is supposed to be, but... Well, these are UAE flags. All over the place. Not much else to say here, really. They're just UAE flags. Dead giveaway. Let's go for this place. It was further up. Okay, sure. Hello, cow. Oh my. The cow has become one with the Google car. Now, when I lost to Sri Lanka in the last game, this is more what I expected to see on the car. Sri Lanka is pretty much the only country where in Gen 3 coverage you get a view of the front of the car. And you get this front car blur that's very distinctive. It almost looks like the French flag. It's a little bit blue over here, white in the center, and then red on the right. Yeah, when you see that, this sort of front car blur that looks like that, you're just going to be in Sri Lanka. It's a very useful meta tip. Interesting. So, speaking of follow cars, This appears to be the red Toyota of Nigeria. Nigeria, you often see these little ladder poles. And yeah, I mean, it looks like Africa, but we don't have a Google car. Red car is definitely a thing in Nigeria, so yeah, pretty sure this is just going to be Nigeria. Let's try Benin City this time. And this time it was over here. Okay. Up to 33 and going strong. Lithuania, I think. Oh, does that say Panevėžys? That's probably what that says. That's this city right here. And yeah, Lithuanian Bollards. You'll see white on one side and orange on the other. And it's the only country where you see the orange. So yeah, let's go just a bit south of Panevėžys. Very nice. This is for 35. Uh-oh. Okay. Not a lot of information on this one. Not a lot at all. Now it appears to be Europe. And it's wintry. European countries with winter coverage, mainly Czechia, Hungary, and Bulgaria. I do not know which one I want to go for here. I don't think it's Czechia. I don't really know why I think that. It just doesn't feel right. Landscape really does remind me of Hungary here. Bulgaria is usually a little more mountainous than this. It's not always mountainous, but something about this is giving me strong Hungary vibes. I don't know why. Often in winter I just default to Bulgaria because it has so much winter coverage, but this one, I'm not feeling Bulgaria for this one. So I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb and go for Hungary. Yes, let's go. Okay, I was unsure about that one. But we soldier on. Sweden. That is all I have to say about this. Okay, no, never mind. I'll explain it. Road lines, basically. Sweden, outer road lines, you get these short dashes, and in Norway, you get long dashes. So in Sweden, the gaps are longer than the dashes themselves, and in Norway, the dashes are longer than the gaps. And this is also Swedish. It's kind of mountainous, so it's probably actually quite north, is what I would guess. And it is very nice, quite close to the Norwegian border, which makes a lot of sense. Orange signposts are a thing that the Philippines loves to use. I see something best, which is English, which is encouraging. And it definitely looks quite like the Philippines in its landscape. So yeah, based off the orange signposts, I'm feeling pretty confident that this is just the Philippines. That it is. 37. We have Spanish. We have... we don't have a ton here. No cross on the back, so unlikely to be Colombia. Puente Usumacinta. Is that a place that I could find, or... I mean, Puente just means bridge. I wonder if it's named after a place. I mean, there's no way I could find the bridge, realistically. But I'm a little bit worried about this round, because I don't see anything that jumps out at me. Is it just Mexico? Huh. Via Chable, I think is what that says. As if that helps me. La Isla. Are we on an island? This is so strange. I just don't know what this is. Like, I'm worried it's something like Ecuador or something like that. Yeah, sorry, I'm having trouble narrowing this down. The poles, what are the poles? Oh, I'm such a moron. That's a Mexican pole. Took me a while, much too long to figure that out. Said Isla, so let's go for something crazy. Yeah, Mexican poles, they're like octagonal. They have like 8 sort of faces to them. And this is pretty clearly one of those. So yeah. Okay, not an island at all, but Mexico is correct. That took longer than it needed to, but oh well, we got there. Oh no. Yeah, a little worried about this one. I'm just worried about Alaska here because it looks quite far north. I mean, it's English speaking, it's clearly US or Canada, but I don't know if this is Alaska. I don't know if you get much Gen 2 in Alaska, though. You get a ton of Gen 2 in Yukon and Northwest Territories, so I'm thinking it's something more like that. So what I'm going to have to go for, I will go for the Yukon here. If it's Alaska, so be it. It's the Yukon. Very nice. Yeah, I definitely felt pretty decent about that guess, at least. Looks like Switzerland. The car blur is pretty wide. Camera looks pretty low. Oh, and that says Sion, which is, well, it's a city in Switzerland, isn't it? Very nice. Okay, that's 40. I'm just going to soldier on. This video is probably going to be quite long, but, you know, it's fun to watch the streak go as long as it can, and I think I jinxed it. I completely jinxed it. Great, wonderful. What the heck is this? Do I have any prayer of getting this? Let's think about this. Europe. That much is clear. But, man, this is so hard. It really is. I mean, I don't see an antenna on the car, but it's probably, like, the blur is, like, really high here. I feel like the antenna is probably just down here getting hidden by this weird blur. Because no antenna would suggest something like Serbia, but I just don't think this is ever Serbia. It doesn't look right. Looks much more like this kind of area to me. Slovenia, Austria, that kind of thing. Although, I'm not sure of that. Is it ever Switzerland? Wait, is it Switzerland? Hold on. Well, this is just... Wait, is this just the wide blur that I was talking about? Hold on a second. Maybe this is just Switzerland. Am I overthinking this? I mean, it certainly looks like it could be Switzerland. You know what? Yeah, I think this is low cam. I think it is. I'm going Switzerland. Yes. Okay, good. Thank goodness I realized that. That was almost bad. Ooh, Uae Rifts. Interesting. So, oh, hello, Lebanon. No, I mean Emirates.net.ae. Very UAE. The car in the UAE, often you see these little exposed little black bits on the edges. Rifts, normally you see them in Senegal, Montenegro, and Albania. On occasion, they will show up in the UAE. They're pretty rare. And there are usually better ways to identify the UAE, but these can exist. Very nice. Okay. So here we have a black car, a desert landscape, no antenna. Making me think of Jordan. I think Israel normally has an antenna. It's too, I don't know, it's too dry to be something like Argentina, I think. It looks much more like the sort of Middle East with the way the desert looks. And for me, really the only remaining option is Jordan, given the black car. So I'm going for Jordan. Good. And we move on. We have Japan. It is as clear as it gets. We have the low cam, the Japanese language all over the place. We have the Japanese poles with the vertical yellow stripes. I mean, everything about this screams Japan. Cool. And my personal best on Diverse World is 44, so we have equaled my record. Can we beat it? I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bit worried. However, I have just seen this, which helps. So I said rifts show up in Senegal, Montenegro, and Albania. This is not Senegal. This is Montenegro, Albania. The problem is I don't know which one. I think the best clue that I have here is this backplate. Montenegro has normal EU plates, or at least blue striped plates. Albania usually has double blue plates, or it'll have a red stripe on the left. But I don't normally see regular looking plates in Albania. So given how sort of normal that plate looks, I think I have to go for Montenegro here for lack of any better information. And it is very nice. It's quite close to Albania. But Montenegro is correct. That brings us to 45, and that is my new personal best on Diverse World. And to be honest, like, I hardly ever even attempt Diverse World streaks. I attempt official ones all the time, and they're much harder. Diverse World really is, like, pretty doable in terms of maps for streaks. Official streaks are really tough sometimes. Diverse World, just, I don't know, the way the locations are picked is definitely more forgiving, and it's more satisfying to be able to get big streaks like this. Okay, Uganda. Uganda car. Nothing more to say here. This is the, I've mentioned it before, it is the car with the little white edges in the mirrors. Classic. Can't go wrong. Denmark. A few reasons why this is Denmark. These signs, these little red signs pointing to towns, very Danish. These tiny little road dashes are also very Danish. So yeah, if you see these little dashes, you're probably in Denmark. These bollards with the little yellow like trapezoid on them, also Danish. Everything about this location screams Denmark. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay. I don't know what this is. I do not know what this is. Wow, okay. This could be a killer, this one. I don't know what I'm looking at here. Just this view of it, it looks a lot like Russia, just from this perspective. The way the road lines and the signs look definitely looks like Russia. looking at it this way, it's less convincing. But for lack of a better guess, it's going to have to be Russia. Pray. Got it. Nice. This one, I think it's over. The streak continues. Now, this is interesting. There's another thing I've learned recently. These orange and white striped pylon things, I think, are exclusive to Quebec. No front makes sense. Don't know my area codes, of course. Some interesting cars over there. But I think these are Quebec pylon things. I think. Yeah, very nice. Okay, that's kind of a cool one. So, I've mentioned before that Chile normally has all white lines, and that I think is what we're seeing here. It's quite dry, feels like South America, and the white lines kind of just tell you that it's not anything else in South America. And I don't think this could ever be something like Spain. It's just the landscape isn't right. It's too dry and rocky. Feels much more like something you would find right along the coast in Chile, like something like that. Yep, further south, but right idea. And that's 50. It's a milestone. That's super cool. Did not expect to get that far today, but really happy that I did. Let's keep it going as long as possible. Thailand, I think. Not a lot of clues here, but the poles with the dots, just very classic Thai poles, and I don't see anything else here to help me, so I've got to go for Thailand. Yep. Iceland, once again, very distinctive architecture, distinctive looking mountains in the background, sort of mossy look to the foliage. Unmistakably Iceland. I should not be clicking in the water. Street counter probably won't like that. This is interesting. So, I think it's just the US. Doesn't feel right for Canada. It's too piney. It almost feels, well, too piney. Is it? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. But it feels more like sort of southernish US, if anything, to me. Doesn't feel right for Canada. I'm gonna have to go for US on this particular occasion. Oh, what a horrible guess. I feel like I deserve to lose the streak there. That was absolutely terrible. Are you kidding me? Western coast of Washington. Wow, I had that all wrong. Like, so wrong. Thankfully, it was the US, but, well, thinking about it, could easily have been something like Vancouver Island. So got really lucky there. This is a Canadian sign with the, sort of the checkered diamond arrow sign is just, it's just a Canadian thing. Yeah, it's not really found anywhere else. Certainly not in the US. Okay, this is easy Italy. I mean, I say that because it's an Italian street sign, Via Stellini. This sort of the white signs with the little blue outline. Very clearly Italian. And that is 55. This just keeps on going. This video is going to be long as heck, but I don't even really care at this point. I just like to see how far I can get. Should just be South Africa, I think. Sign looks quite South African to me. Is it? Oh my god, wait. Is it? No. Am I completely wrong? Wait, am I stupid? Oh no. No, I'm completely wrong. It's Greece, isn't it? My god, that's not even remotely close. What made me think of South Africa? I mean, the Gen 2, the green signs with the yellow, like, writing. I mean, it doesn't look that far off from what South Africa normally looks like. But the reason it's Greece, this yellow sign, this is not a thing in South Africa. Sort of yellow little warning sign kind of thing. And also the little blue rectangle sign with the yellow writing and then the white writing. Very Greek. It'll be written in Greek and then in English, or in Latin at least. Yeah, that's quite common to see in Greece. So yeah, that kind of threw my head for a spin, but I'm pretty sure it's Greece here. Yep. Glad I didn't rush that one. Looks like here we will once again be relying on winter meta. Once again, I'm going to have to make the agonizing decision of whether to pick Bulgaria or Hungary. This time, I think the architecture looks more Bulgarian to me. Just the, I don't know, the orange roofs. I don't know what to say. I think white painted pole bases are also not a thing in Hungary. They're more common in like Romania, but I think they can exist in Bulgaria. Yeah, I'm getting more of a Bulgarian feel from this round. Good. Japan. Yeah, low cam, architecture, language, everything. Not going to spend much time on that. Okay. Again, Indonesia or Malaysia. Front plate on the bike, probably Indonesia. That bike looks like it has 3 distinct white sections. Also means likely Indonesia. That also has 3. Yeah, okay, it's Indonesia for sure. Nice. Senegal? Yeah, roof rack, rifts in the sky. Yep, there they are. Classic Senegal rifts. Not much else to say. Yeah, Africa, roof rack, rifts, instant Senegal. 60 in a row. My record on official streaks is 62. I might be surpassing that right here. We will see. Denmark again, I think, with these short dashes and yeah, and these little trapezoidal looking bollards. Very Danish. Nice. Okay. US or Canada once again. Getting a lot of these. It just isn't Canada, really, is it? The way the trees look, the way it's, I don't know, it looks too far south to be Canada. I'll go Alabama. Okay, bad guess. It was actually West Virginia. Much further north than I thought, but thankfully not far north enough to be Canada. And we have the Southern African road lines, yellow on the edges, white in the middle. And we have the Gen 2 camera, which instantly indicates South Africa. And that takes me to 63, which is better than my all-time record in official streaks. I've played more than, I think, 3,000 games of official streaks, and I've never hit a streak this high. And I've probably attempted diverse world streaks like 50 times or something. So this is pretty awesome. Feels good. And oh no. Okay, let's think about this one. We have the stubby antenna, which indicates Mexico, Colombia, Ecuador, or Brazil. But I don't know which one to choose here. This is not easy. This is not easy at all. The poles don't look Mexican to me. I think Mexico probably does have normal cylindrical poles as well as the octagonal ones. But I just don't think it's Mexico. And I don't think it's Brazil either. Just the mountainousness of it, I guess the poles as well, they kind of steer me away from guessing Brazil here. It doesn't feel right. So it's between Ecuador and Colombia here. The wooden fences, the fences with the wooden posts, they just remind me more of Colombia. At this point, I'm guessing, but the landscape looks very reasonable for Colombia. To be fair, it definitely could be Ecuador as well. But I don't know, the fences are kind of what's making me think it's Colombia. So that's going to be my guess here. Yes, let's go. On we go. This is awesome. Just keep it rolling. France. French Bollards. Yeah, so you get a much clearer look at the French Bollards here. They are large with the big red stripe. Classic France. And it looks like you also are seeing a double blue plate, which, as I mentioned before, can exist in France. 65, and on we go. What is this? So this is hard. It's, man, what is this? This is tricky. This is really tricky. So I'll try and explain my thoughts here. Now, the birch trees and just the flat landscape make it look very Baltic or Russian. I don't think that's a Russian sign. I don't think a lot of these things don't quite look right for Russia to me. So I'm thinking it's the Baltics. But between the Baltic countries, I don't know. Now, I've been told before that Lithuania is the only country in the Baltics that has a long antenna. However, I have lost a streak before to a long antenna in Estonia. So I know for a fact that it's possible to get long antennas outside of Lithuania, which is making me worry, because if I had to guess based on landscape alone, I would probably say Estonia over Latvia for this, to be honest. With how birchy it is, with how densely forested it is, it really gives me more of an Estonia vibe. But do I trust whoever told me that Lithuania is the only one with a long antenna? That's the thing. I've definitely seen a long antenna in Estonia before, so I don't know what to go for here. Heck, it could even be Latvia. But I'm gonna disregard Latvia. I just feel like, man, signs when you're entering cities, are they different in the different Baltic states, or do they all just look like that? I don't know. I wish I knew these things. Oh my god, this is a killer. This could very well end the streak, folks. I still don't know which one I want to go for. I'm really scared of guessing Estonia here. I'm just so worried that the antenna thing is actually true. I don't know. I don't know. Why is this so difficult? Baltic roulette is so painful. It's just so hard. What do I do? Which one do I go for? I don't know. I can't tell if the architecture looks... all these countries just look the same. It's so hard. I've made up my mind. I'm going Estonia. I'm gonna close my eyes for no reason. Please. I can't see. Open. Oh my god. What? Oh my god. No, what? It was Poland? How was it Poland? Oh my god, it was neither. Oh, what the heck? Oh, I feel like such a moron. Why? Why didn't I think of Poland? So was that a holy pole? I thought it looked like one, but... oh my god, it just was, wasn't it? That's such a mistake. I totally overlooked it. I was looking at this pole and I was thinking, it kind of looks like a holy pole at the bottom, but I was looking at the top and I was like, the top just looks more normal. I thought my eyes were just playing a trick on me. I didn't think that I should trust the poles. Oh, well, that would... Jesus, that would have been nice to see, but I think I was... What? I'm pretty sure in the actual location I was at the exact spot where you can't see either side of this sign, which is obviously highly unfortunate. That's a really bad way to end the streak, because I feel like I absolutely should have gotten that. The pole, I should have known. I should have known that the pole was a pole. I disregarded it. It looked like a holy pole, and I thought, nah, looks more like the Baltics. That's a mistake. It's a mistake, and it's a mistake I shouldn't be making. And yeah, so instead of just a really hard round that I don't feel bad about, the 65 streak ends with an error. I probably should have had that, but it's okay. I'm really happy with that, all in all. 65 in a row is a pretty fantastic streak. It's one that I did not expect to be getting today at all, but really, really happy about it. Hope it was enjoyable to watch. I'm sure this is going to be a long video. I will try and edit out the first streak a little bit so that it, like, the length is a little bit more manageable, but it's going to be really long nonetheless. And sorry about that, but hopefully it was fun to watch. I think it should be pretty engaging throughout. And with that, I'm going to leave you. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed another sort of installment of Country Streaks. I plan to sort of periodically do more of these videos because I find them quite fun to record, and I hope you find them fun to watch. Alright, that's going to be it for me. Signing off. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.